So now I'm going to take you on a journey. This is a story of my experience. The last 2 months of my life have been completely turned around, and it's a result of what's happened in my head. So what I'm going to do is explain to you what happened, give you the roller coaster of a life that I've had. Of course, some of you may not want to listen to this, and that's totally cool. You can hit fast forward here, and we'll quickly speed up, and we'll finish it. That's how I beat cancer. No, it's not. Let's rewind back, and we'll see. So we're going to talk about the journey that I've gone through, the last 2 months of my life in terms of this experience that's changed me. And you know what? It's changed me for a lot of terrifying reasons, but it's also changed me for some amazing reasons as well. So we're going to go through the journey to this point. On March the 12th, 2021, I was doing what I usually do, that is sit in my edit room and cut some corporate video content together. Something I was really enjoying, I was really looking forward to sinking my teeth into. I had been getting some really hardcore symptoms. I wasn't sure what it was, but if you click this link over here, it'll pop up. So click that link and I'll talk to you about those symptoms if people are interested in that sort of stuff, and I'm sure some of you are. If you're not, let's continue on with the story. This is a long story. It's going to go on for a while. I was doing some video editing, and there was an urgency in me to try and go and see my doctor to find out what was going on in my head with my headaches. I got a phone call at around lunchtime. It was about 11:30, and it was a reception saying, "Jed, can you come in at lunchtime? Can you come in at 12, or can you come in at 1 to see your doctor?" I'm going to call my doctor Dr. R, because I don't want to identify people, because they don't want to be filmed, unfortunately. I'd love to interview her. So Dr. R told me, they said, "Can you come in and see her? You need to come and see her straight away." My wife wasn't well at the time. She had the flu, so I didn't want to wake her up. She was asleep in bed. She was dealing with the flu. I jumped in my car and I drove down to the doctor's. I walked into the front door, and the reception met me at the front door. And I knew that there was something that was wrong, because the reception ushered me into the doctor's. Normally the doctors will come and take me in. And the minute I opened the door of the doctor's room, Dr. R's face told me that there was something wrong. She was upset, which I totally get. She looks after our kids, she looks after our family, she looks after my wife, she looks after me. So, not an easy thing to have to break news like this. I immediately sat down, and the question was, "How did you get here? Who drove you?" I'd driven myself. And then it was, "Can you please call your mother or your wife to come and drive you? You've got a brain tumour." And she showed me the CT scans, and I booked you in to emergency surgery or emergency hospital. So we called my mum and we called my wife. I couldn't speak. I just was crying. So the doctor had to tell my wife and my mum to come down and see what's going on. Mum and Jacinta came down and met with the doctor, and she explained everything to them. My doctor worked fast. She booked in a private hospital for me, because I've got private health cover, and she also booked in a neurosurgeon to look at me, and that all happened incredibly fast on a Friday. So I went up to the hospital. I went and did MRIs to check what the condition was like, because the CT scans can only show so much. The MRIs show a lot more, and basically I had to do MRIs with contrast, where they inject your blood with some dye, and then that highlights where there might be problems. I met my neurosurgeon on Friday, and then on Saturday my neurosurgeon came back and showed me the MRI. We sat down with the neurosurgeon on Saturday, and we looked at the MRI in terms of where the tumour was. It's the size of a plum, and as the neurosurgeon said, we're aiming for a jelly tumour, not a paint tumour. If we cut it open and we can get the jelly tumour out, it'll all come out. If we get the paint one, it's going to be problematic. So she explained that. And then she went down, and over here on my head, I have my memory. my speech, and also there was a vision coiler. So the neurosurgeon, of course, had to explain to us what the potential risks were in that situation. So that was explained in detail. And that was it. So that was a Saturday, and she then said to us, why don't you go home for the night and enjoy your family, stay there the night and come back the next day, and we can start prepping you for operation on Monday. It was a hard one. Coming home felt a bit tokenistic. You kind of knew that something pretty scary was going to happen. But, you know, it's what had to happen. 3 o'clock in the morning that night, I woke up. I snuck into my room and I recorded videos for my wife, for each of my kids, and for my family. I even recorded a little video in case there was a funeral. It was a hard night. Just probably an opportunity now to sort of recognise someone that was involved that was kind of not really aware of, and that was my wife. Little did I know while I was recording those videos, she was actually standing at the door listening, which would have been incredibly hard. Anyway, videos were recorded and went back to bed. Next day I went to the hospital. Jacinta sat by my side nearly the whole time while I was waiting on the Sunday. We even watched a terrible horror film because I'm a movie buff, I love my films. We watched a horror film on Sunday night, and then managed to read a book that my wife had given me, a magazine, and in the magazine it says scare yourself to health. Apparently horror films are great for scaring yourself to health, and to be honest, it was an amazing distraction. It kept me away from thinking about what was going on up here, so it was awesome. On the Monday, we just finished the horror film and Jacinta was beside me, and the guy came in and started wheeling me down. So I wheeled down for surgery. Went to the elevator, went down. When we got to the bottom, Jacinta couldn't come anymore. And so she couldn't come any further, and it was incredible. I've never shaken or been so terrified in all my life. You know, things flooding through my head. What if I can't see again? What if I can't hear again? What if I can't remember things? What if I can't speak? All these things that were coming through my head from what was about to happen. And that was pretty terrifying. We went into the prep room and I could hear them prepping the room next door, and the whole bed was shaking. I remember that much. The vibrations were just incredible. My anaesthetist knocked me out, and then the most magical moment, and it's a vision that is just embedded in my head. And that is when I woke up and I was looking up, and my neurosurgeon was leaning over me. And my neurosurgeon said to me, "Jed, can you hear me?" And my immediate response was, "Yes, I can." And I spoke for the first time, and I knew who she was. And her next thing was, "Jed, I'm sorry to say it was paint, it wasn't jelly." And you would think at that point that I would have been devastated, but I wasn't. And the reason why I wasn't devastated was because I saw her, I spoke to her, and I remembered her, and I remembered the conversation. So even though it was a bad prognosis, it was an incredible moment. And I remember getting wheeled up to, elevated up to my recovery room, or where I had to sleep the night, and just yelling. The minute the door opened, I could tell that my mum and dad were there and Jacinta were there. I just wanted them to know that I was okay. And it was, it's weird because, you're getting told that it's a bad prognosis. You've just had brain surgery. And yet I was feeling so elated because I knew that things were going to be good. Wheeled in recovery, and that's it. I could tell you that whole story. That's a funny story between drinks or whatever. I can't drink for the next year. But I will tell you that story. But that was an experience of going through that. And I guess the reason why I wanted to sort of tell you that story is because, one, it's a story that I get asked from people a bit, so it's worth telling anyway. But two, for anyone who's watching who's going through a similar experience, or possibly even about to go through a similar experience, I want you to know that you can relate to me. This has all been just an amazing upheaval of my life. And I hope that I can at least sort of give you some confidence in entering these times. It's not a great time, but you're entering it, and you'll succeed if you fight hard enough. I was in hospital for about a week, just over a week and a half, doing a lot of recovery time. Had to do a bit of walking, had to do a lot of physio, a lot of breathing to show that I was reacting well. The nurses were fantastic, and I was looked after really well. If I can give you one piece of advice, enjoy the painkillers. Personally, unfortunately, some of those painkillers I didn't enjoy. They were giving me got to go through. The bandage came off, and then they started to remove the staples. So if you look across here, there was a big scar there that was running through, and that's all grown back. This is 2 months later. So, I'm sitting here talking to you right now after this surgery, and it's 2 months gone. So for people that are about to embark on this journey, understand that there's opportunities to get through this. One of the things I learnt was the power of mind, the power of strength, and what sort of strength to take. One thing I've learnt is the strength is positive strength, engaging this and accepting it and moving with it has really given me a strength that I just didn't think I'd have, other than the alternative, which was to get angry and be upset, and there were times of crying, but that was it. So it's been 2 months so far since the operation, or close to 2 months actually, almost 2 months since the operation. And I'm sitting here talking to you. Straight after the operation, there was meetings with oncologists, doing blood tests, all that sort of stuff to get the next step in line, which of course is now chemo and radiation, which I'm treating now. And by the way, if you click this link over here, you'll get to the chemo and radiation. So happy days. And I will show you guys that experience as well. So that's the start of my journey. I could embellish it with lots more of the story, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to finish it there because I don't want to bore you all, and I hope I'm not. I'm looking forward to taking you on the next steps of these incredible journey. There's so much to show you, and I hope you enjoy the videos. If you do, please like and subscribe. Please share. I want a world of people to check these bad boys out, because I genuinely do believe that some of the stuff that I've learned from other people, cancer survivors or cancer people that are going through treatments, or myself and my own experiences in treatment with my cancer, I genuinely believe that there's strength in knowledge, and I hope that people will come across these videos going into horrible experiences like mine, and they will set you at ease, or they'll point you in a direction that may be able to help you. So please, even if you're not a cancer person yourself, like and subscribe, share and show other people, because I hope this journey can help other people.